Lagos State University of Science and Technology has sacked 3 lecturers over allegations of sexual harassment. Lasustech's public relations officer, Mr. Lanre Kuye, confirmed the development on Sunday. He said the move reflects its zero-tolerance stance on sexual harassment, which is backed by a clearer defined sexual harassment policy, and the disciplinary action followed due process. The university cited Section 5.52, subsection V of the University Senior Staff Conditions of Service as the legal basis for the termination, and emphasized that the action is with immediate effect. Meanwhile, while some anonymous sources claim that 2 of the dismissed lecturers allegedly have a history of similar misconduct, this latest round of accusation reportedly came with damning video evidence that sealed their fate. However, one case remains murky, with an insider alleging that there was no clear-cut evidence and that some people want to pull him down, but he would appeal the dismissal. I want to get your thoughts on this, please. I know I've had a conversation with you concerning a particular situation like this at some point some time ago. Yeah. Yes, I know we've had a conversation on this matter, but it's just that the situation just keep coming up over and over again. I just want to get your thoughts on what you make of this, please.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. You know, when you mention 3, it throws my mind back to what happened in UK. 3 judges were dismissed from service. You may ask why or on what account? For watching pornography. I'm telling you. You see, it's unfortunate. I read an article, I think this week, under review, last week. I think that former INEC chairman, Jega, he was lampooning the university that they are giving academic awards, degrees to illiterates. There are characters when you hear that they have so and so, and unfortunately our majority criminal-minded self-imposed political opportunities in the name of leaders have infiltrated the academic sector too. See, people normally even contribute money from community basis and send people overseas.
True.
Do you hear of such things? Because the academic sector is supposed to be an environment where you have mentors. They touch the life of people that come and give them direction in life and send them back. You have come here, you've been here, you've interacted with the system, go out and manifest. That is what it's supposed to be. But these individuals, because they do not merit to be there. I used to say this, and I was discussing with a friend who just came in recently, and he said, I told him what is happening, because coming from outside, the first set of people you meet are the immigration. And he told me that it appeared that there's a change, that the backlash on the kind of searchlight on the custom activities. Right now, they no longer, check your bag, turn it upside down as they used to do, or to induce you to give them money. That is, kind of noticing a kind of minimization on that part. But the it is on this same ground of failure. Now, when you have professors without research, without invention, nothing to show, nothing to offer. Because when people do research and have ideas, sellable ideas, what usually happens is that you have entrepreneurs who come from outside, who come in to take advantage of those ideas and collaborate with them, produce, make production, and they make money. So they will not be tempted to think about, all this sorting or sex for grade and all whatnot. Because this thing destroyed the system. Let's be very frank about it. It destroyed the system. It's just like somebody telling you, oh, you are supposed to read for exam, and somebody tell you, don't bother. Yes, don't bother. I will handle it for you.
Well, you made mention of something. You said oftentimes people act this way because they do not merit being in that position.
Sure.
Do you think that's like an abuse of power or something like that? Oftentimes, most of them actually merit to be there and still end up being involving in such misconduct.
You see, when we talk about the academics, you are supposed to have you are supposed to be fit and proper, both in learning and in character.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, you can be, there are some people who are intellectually sound, but morally bankrupt. They don't go together. This is supposed to be a selected environment. Okay, I'll give you a practical example. Whether you are a judge or you are a legal practitioner, we all come from a common foundation, which is called the bar. As you move ahead on the trajectory of the bar, you can be at the bench or you remain at the bar. Bar bench. Do you understand? Those who remain in practice, they will call that bar. Then those who move to be judges or magistrates, that is the bench.
Okay.
There are characters. You may have top class or even pass, but you have qualities. Like as I am, I do not desire to be a judge or magistrate.
Okay.
Do you understand? If you are emotional, you cannot be there. I'm not saying I'm emotional, but my position of being critical is not compatible with the position of being a judge.
Okay.
I can't be a judge and be doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
And this is what gives me fulfillment. When you see a judge whose desire, even a lecturer, there are lecturers you see, when you see them, when they talk, look, you can't forget them. I used to tell, sometimes I run into some friends, I usually say to them, every woman is created with an economic attachment. Discourse. That is a full economic question by our lecturer. And if you are not in class, you can't handle it. He created a picture and then discuss it using that woman, that economic attachment, and the character of a woman and all whatnot to drive home the point. This is, when you talk about football, like in England, you hear of so coach. You hear players who will tell you, oh, that man was my coach. This one was my coach. That is part of the glory that those in the academy will get. When you have such people, you can buy them with money. You can see the nonsense we're having today, wherein professors are being, recruited into being electoral fraud validators. That is not supposed to be. You now have our sisters and mothers turned into what I call sex experiment tools. In fact, it's so bad to the point that out of one case, what is it, Uturu or somewhere, I think Abia State or somewhere, a lecturer who insists that she must sleep with the lady or she will not graduate. And sadly, you see gang up. Some lecturers will, and see, let me say this to them. And I'm saying it to them. If you are involved, you see, there are things you do and get away with it. And I say that they are doing this because of ignorance.
Now, another question is going to be now is, after getting these lecturers fired, the next set, well, what are the next, like you made mention of validation, making sure that anyone that occupies any particular position is accredited in character and in learning. You know, firing these lecturers, is that going to reduce the issue of sexual harassment in the institution?
Well, for whatever reason, everything has gone tech. Do you understand? Everything has gone digital. Even our sisters and brothers who have migrated into that volatile highway, they have gone digital. There are so many men who are promiscuous. They can be with their wives in the bed and yet they are carrying out their promiscuous action through digital facilities. But, what was worrying me is, are they not going to migrate into another institution? Do you understand? Because if we had a system that keeps record, every other institution should take note. And you pull them out. They can be taken in by any other employer. If they are found anywhere, they should send them the record that, look, this is the character you are having on board. When, you know why crime go on unabated, is when there is no punishment for it. If there is this punishment for it, as we are talking about it, as it is now, haven't taken this step, this is phase one. The police can now take up action against them.
Yes.
Do you understand? And prosecute them. Because certainly there is evidence. There was one, a so-called professor, and when it comes to this issue, I don't spare them. I use the word so-called professor because his action is not compatible with that status. Why they removed those 3 judges in UK? The issue was that the authority says your action of using this public facility that is provided for you to enhance your job to watch pornography is not compatible with your status. That is so. The public pay through taxpayers' money. You are provided the internet services to get knowledge, to get current, so that to help you to do justice to society. Now you are spending that time to be watching pornography with that facility. That is not compatible with your status. So basically, what should be done, like the academics, is supposed to be a sanitized environment. Okay. You may be sound academically, but you don't have the character. You are not supposed to be there.
Thank you so much on your thoughts, Barrister Mankey. Well, this issue has actually been an on and on situation. Now, I've had this discussion with you before now, like I stated earlier, and then we're having this conversation again. You know, if necessary measures will be taken, well, like you stated, whereas the institution will inform or make it in the public of any misconduct like this, so that there will be a literally measure of punishment, if that's the word, in order for the crime not to continue. Yeah. Thank you so much on your thoughts, Barrister Mankey.